with Henning Wehn, German stand-up comedian, although you don't like being described as German stand-up comedian. You're just a stand-up comedian, really, aren't you?
Yeah, it's horrible being typecasted that way. So don't know how I can avoid it. So I try my utmost, honestly. So got show titles as diverse as, I don't know, 1,000 years of German humour. German humour goes global, and 3 World Cups, 1 World Pope. I've tried it all, so but always being narrowed down again to my nationality. Infuriating.
Being typecasted.
Yeah. Pigeonholed.
It's what the British like to do. We just like stereotyping people. Have you been to Leicester Comedy Festival before, and how have you?
Yes, I've been here quite a few times. Yeah.
What do you think of it as a comedy festival?
Oh, it's my favourite comedy festival in Leicester.
That was good, I like that. Because it's got quite a different atmosphere.
And not only in Leicester, but the whole of Leicestershire.
Well,
I up me duck.
That was good. That was a Midlands accent. I'm impressed. I thought it's got a really different atmosphere to Edinburgh. I don't know if you'd agree. If you compare the Leicester Comedy Festival and Edinburgh as a festival, it's completely different. Do you think your kind of humour goes down better somewhere like this or the other side of the border?
I see. Now, main difference is obviously that in Edinburgh you essentially perform for the whole month. That means you can get momentum behind your show, whilst Leicester is slightly different festival, even though it's on for, 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
I think there is no one performing more than 2 consecutive nights, and that means, essentially you just showcase what you've got, and that's it. So there is no, the show itself won't grow on you in that time. So it's different. It's essentially just you go to Leicester, say hello to your core audience, and show the show you're currently touring. Now, let me get one thing straight. We Germans, we like a laugh, just like you Brits. We really do. The only difference is we Germans, we laugh once the work is done. Whilst you laugh instead of doing any meaningful work. There indeed is the main cultural difference.
This year is Leicester Comedy Festival's 18th birthday. I know.
Happy birthday to you.
I know in Germany, drinking you can do younger, so that's a lot of people when they turn 18 in the UK just go out on the lash. But what did you do for your 18th birthday?
I remember that was even before they introduced the Deutschmark. That's how long ago it was. When was my 18th birthday? In 1992. I genuinely haven't got any idea what I did for my 18th birthday. So.
Nothing at all? Not even a...
I will have done something. There would have been some sort of do, but I really couldn't tell you. No. I mean, it's not even being put on the spot. You would give me 3 weeks to work it out. I wouldn't have a clue.
Have you got any other memorable birthday stories that would make up for not knowing what you did when you were 18?
No, but you know what it's like. If you can remember something, you weren't really there.
Yeah. I guess so. Where were you?
It's what they say about the 60s, isn't it? There's so many stereotypes about us Germans here in Britain. It's amazing, isn't it? The amount of stereotypes. I've been after 9 years in the country, but now I'm so familiar with your stereotypes about us that nowadays, whenever I travel back to the fatherland, I almost expect to find my countrymen goose-stepping up and down the high street, dressed in lederhosen and short leather trousers, eating a sausage, yum yum yum, beach towel under one arm. All that one singing David Hasselhoff's latest songs. It's nonsense. We only sing the Hoff's old ditties. And then at the same time in Germany we have got absolutely no stereotypes about you Brits. No, honestly we don't, because you're not important enough to us. We're far too busy slagging off the fucking Dutch. And Danes and Poles and Turks and French and all those other flukes of history. third time lucky. Oh, you're laughing now. I will come to regret that.
How did you get into comedy? Was it just...
Well, one night in London about, when was that? That was in 03, so I don't know, 7.5, 8 years ago. Went to a comedy. I came over to Britain to work in marketing, and then one night went to a comedy gig without any ulterior motive or anything. Just went there and said, let's see what that's about. What's that about? What that's about, in fact. Be that as it may that as it be. No, and then I went to that comedy night, and it was really low key. I thought, blimey, I can do better than that in the second language. And then I just gave it a go. And it was like, I think with most people, I mean, I did say I wrote a career plan or anything, it was just a hobby, and then came a paid hobby, well-paid hobby, shitty paid job, and now on the way up again. So it's, yes, it was no master plan, funnily enough.
Accidental. Stumbled.
Accidentally, I stumbled into it, I saw it, I thought, I would like to give that a go.
Do you think it's harder to do in your second language, or do you think in a way it makes it easier because failing anything else people can just laugh at your accent and mispronunciation, or do you think, yeah?
That's a very sweet question. How do you think it could make it easier?
Because like I said, you could just make a joke about not being able to, you know.
And what do you tell them after that one joke?
The same joke again.
Probably, and then became quite repetitive, and we all know repetition is one of the secrets of comedy, yeah. Spot on, I never looked at it that way, yeah. A lot easier in same language.
Well, it could be, because everyone says that German, the sentence structure in German makes sort of jokes harder, but then that doesn't mean Germans don't have a sense of humour.
No, but it's essentially... Yeah, there is that story, because I think Stuart Lee wrote it, that in German language, I think it must have been misquoted, in the German language you can't put a pun on the end of a sentence, which is obviously nonsense, and B, doesn't really, I mean, the idea would be to have humorous thoughts, and you will be able to get that within some grammatical construction that is according to the rule book.
What's the difference between, I'm delivering this like a bad joke now, what's the difference between German comedy and English comedy?
I don't know, what is the difference? No, the difference is, the big difference is that the British humour industry is a lot better developed. So like the humour itself isn't even that different. It is, like the British pub jokes, you've all heard them in Germany and the other way around. If I were to tell you the German pub jokes, you'd be like, oh, I heard them 20 years ago. Well, not you, but grown-ups. And yeah, so the jokes are similar. What is different is the social importance of humour. Like in Britain, the concept of self-deprecation, that there's the idea that you can laugh off failure. So as long can go all tits up, as long as you can tell it the tale of the failure in an entertaining fashion, you will be all right. And that, for example, that wouldn't wash in the German culture, because it would be you messed up and now you're trying to make light of it. So that would, if anything, would aggravate the situation. And but for example, when I say the humour industry is better developed in Britain, we just have to look at this festival, Leicester Comedy Festival. Leicester, in all respect, I mean, it is. We're second only to London in Britain as a city. No, and somewhere like Leicester that they can put on a comedy festival and essentially sustain it now for 18 years and putting on, I don't know, 50 shows a night or something and find an audience. That only goes to show how big an industry comedy is in Britain.
That was a fantastic answer. Well done on that one.
Zum Geburtstag viel Glück, zum Geburtstag viel Glück, zum Geburtstag viel Glück. Leicester Comedy Festival, zum Geburtstag viel Glück. Yay!